Hey, welcome back to Billy Mac Makes. In this video I'm going to show you how I build a custom vanity for this porcelain sink. When I flip it upside down you can see how there's a channel, and I can build a simple box that's simply going to fit on the inside of this. I think it'll look great. So after carefully measuring, I set about cutting some walnut side panels. I glued these guys up to make a nice wide, almost 18-inch panel, and just cleaning up the tops and the bottoms with my track saw. I noticed it was really throwing a lot of dust. There's a great big hole in the side of it, so I thought, I've seen this somewhere else. Another maker taped the side of it, and I wanted to see how that would do. So definitely did do a better job. You'll see it kind of still blowing around some of the dust that was already there, but it is really sucking up the dust now. One of the goals of this was to sort of use some scraps and some materials that were already laying around to keep the costs down for this entire budget. So this is the bottom of the vanity, and so I'm just gluing up a couple of oak veneered plywood pieces to get the necessary depth, and I'm going to put on a piece of walnut hardwood edging for the front so that when it connects with those solid walnut sides it will give the illusion when the drawer fronts are on that it's walnut all the way throughout. And as I said, some of the budget friendly ideas, some of this wood had a few holes in it, exposed grain there, but I was able to fill those in with some CA glue. So now I'm measuring for the back. Rather than using the tape measure and taking a measure, I just thought I would lay it down and measure out. And now what I want to do is I want to make some notches. I'm really interested in making this as strong as possible, and so rather than just screwing through the sides, I thought I would notch this in. I accidentally put my X in the wrong spot, so fixing that. I thought I would notch into the side and into this back stretcher, and then I can send a screw in both directions. One that's going to go straight into the side, and then another one that goes through the side into this back stretcher. So there you can see my notches, and now I'm just marking out on the walnut sides. They're already attached to the bottom there, and then it's just a matter of removing that little rectangle. Pre-drilled, of course. You can see the screw above that going into the side, and this one goes through the side into the back. And because this will be below the vanity sink when it hangs down, I thought I would plug this up with a little solid walnut plug. But that plywood back stretcher up there above that, that's all going to be encapsulated by the sink when it slides over the top. So the next day, once everything had dried, I flush cut that off, give it a quick sand, and it looks pretty good. Here's that sink upside down, and now it's sitting inside. Now, this is going to be the French cleats. So I'm going to take that piece of wood and I'm going to rip it in half on a 45-degree angle. But before I'm just easing the corners so that you can't see this should you look from the sides. So splitting the distance approximately doesn't really matter on this French cleat. And then you can see how it's just going to sit. And it's also going to be bearing some weight right on the edge of that porcelain as well. So I'm going to glue it and screw it with some GRKs. Those are 1 1/4 inch. And that's very, very strong. Now I'm just opening up the wall where the French cleat is going to go to ensure that there's enough solid material back there to attach it.
Well, this will be a challenge. I was hoping I could put a 2x4 straight across, but I figured I would have my drain pipe and my vent. There is 3/4 of an inch of space. So I think I might be able to put some blocking back here attached to this 2x4, and then put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood back here attached to this stud, attached to that stud, and then it will give me, with small screws, something to tack into. Should remind myself where these pipes are. No big screws. And so I think we should be able to get this done, attach the French cleat, and really have it hanging off some meat. I want that secure when people lean on a sink, a lot of force. Okay, that's the challenge.
So after attaching my blocking to make up for the fact that there was only one stud across a 36-inch wide wall, I was able to put the piece of drywall back on. This doesn't have to be pretty because I put the accent wall right over top of that. If you haven't checked out that video, you might want to look at that. I think it turned out amazingly. So now I'm cutting the drawers, and we really want no handles, but rather a little finger pull at the top of the drawer. So I thought an easy way to do this might be to simply glue together two pieces of wood. It's left a little long and a little wide. Thought I could just put something heavy on it and hold it down, but it really kept wiggling around a lot. So you can see I added some clamps, and a couple hours later I was able to take that off, and it turned out pretty great. Now I can trim it down to size by removing that bottom portion that was just kind of hanging a little bit over there. Drawer 1, drawer 2. The top drawer is going to be fixed. Only the bottom one is going to move, and that's because all the plumbing and everything is really going to be in the way. And quite frankly, we don't have that much just in a powder bathroom where we need storage, so a shelf really isn't necessary. So priming everything up, and the day that I painted everything else black on the accent wall, there's the color, blackjack. I also sprayed the drawers, the drawer fronts outside, so didn't include that. Now it's about attaching the hardware. You saw my little 3/32 spacer. I wanted that sort of revealed to be around all four sides. This is a little jig I made up a couple years ago to help me drill for those hinges. And it drills a perfect hole, locates it wonderfully. Now I have the drawer front clamped into place, and you can see I have my spacers in place, so it's being held in exactly the right spot. And I'm going to be attaching these to the bottom, because what we want is for this to sort of drop down like one of those sort of horizontal drawers. Now it's time for the finish. This is some Rubio Monocoat Pure. Really just love the way it brings out the grain in the walnut. Easy to apply. Rub it on, and about 10 minutes later, you just buff off any excess. It looks terrific. There's the French cleat that I attached to the wall with some long GRKs, not going through any of my piping. And there is my test fit. It fits on great. I haven't attached any plumbing, but just making sure everything is located, it was strong, it's in place. The top drawer is fixed, and there's the bottom one with these soft close inset hinges. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. maybe you'll consider hitting the like and subscribe button. And if you'd like to see a full budget breakdown of the complete bathroom renovation, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.